March 7th, 2024. Good day, everybody. Connor with Honor here, talking about real estate in Santa Clarita Valley, also greater Antelope Valley as well, and Los Angeles. Let's get the daily inventory. So, today is our new house broadcast. We're going to talk about some new housing, some ways to maybe have you protect yourself, and also to understand that at new housing, like any other type of residential real estate, there are methods in place to get properties at less than potentially what they're being offered for, but the market has to align correctly in order for that to happen. They have to have a couple weeks of negative sales or sales not up to their bar to be able to change or be able to become a little bit more variable in their pricing. The other thing with new housing, something that you should know, is they do come out with price changes, pretty aggressive price changes at different times throughout the month. So when you do go and you are looking at new housing, having somebody on your side during that process is very important. I have my services for my people that want to purchase new housing. But with that, whenever I go out there, I find out from the builder when they have their meetings and when those price reductions or changes take place. That way, depending on the phase, and depending on standing inventory and activity, they make different determinations that I can then provide to my clients. So when we're looking at new housing, we really understand what's happening, and we can then look at past sales, and that indicates whether they have a healthy new sales market or if the new sales market seems to be suffering. Don't forget and mark my words, our next danger point in the real estate world is overbuilding. Right now, everybody is potentially getting a lot done for a lot less than used to need when it comes to building housing or providing other housing for people. For example, commercial buildings are really going to come into their full stride because a lot of commercial properties are going to be able to be converted to residential units with a lot more ease than in the past. If they allow that to continue at the pace, then you have new building, new housing also ramping up, finally getting the supply of lumber and other components to build residential real estate. They already have the land, they already have the permits. All they need is the material. Once they have that material, that market's going to kick off as well. And that is the next danger in the real estate cycle. We are years away from overbuilding. But if they don't balance it out and if they're not careful, we're going to run into a surplus of real estate, and that's going to put sellers back and create a buyer's market like we've never seen, potentially reminiscent of the end of 2011 or beginning of 2012 when we had our last foreclosure cycle. But bing, let's run into the real estate inventory. So in Santa Clarita Valley, in the last 24 hours, we have five coming soon listings that have been placed on the market. And these are the cities in Santa Clarita that I speak about every week. Going to be Castaic, Canyon Country, Newhall, Saugus, Stevenson Ranch, and Valencia. So those are the cities that we're considering within Santa Clarita Valley. Now, of course, I'm very active in Acton and Agua Dulce as well. Those cities are a little bit stand apart because they offer same houses, just different type of living in a way where it's a little bit more rural, a little bit further from neighbor to neighbor. You actually have acreage, you actually have agriculture and livestock. So those are a little bit different, those markets. And in some cases, they're not on city anything except for potentially electricity. Everything else is going to be controlled on property. So you're not going to have any direct access to water depending on where you are, depending on the aquifer and the water levels and if there's a well or not. But a lot of people have the water trucked in, so every month, that's just something to get used to. Every month, you have a tank on the outside of the residence and you pay for a service for them to deliver the water to you. Those markets are very much different in sales prices than they are here in Santa Clarita Valley. That's why those markets are treated differently. At least when I start to talk about them, those numbers, those areas are set apart from Santa Clarita Valley because it is really different living. All right, so new listings 22 within the last 24 hours. One of the things that I did want to share with regard to Santa Clarita is we're now up to 326 active real estate listings on the market in all of the Santa Clarita Valley cities. That's going to include single family residences, townhomes, condominiums. The reason why that's important is that's the highest number it's been for a few years. That's more inventory than we've seen. active and for sale. And that still is a lot less than we would need to be able to shift the market from being a total seller's market currently to a buyer's market. I was talking about new housing. Also, something that you need to be aware of is sometimes you can find that instead of maybe having reductions in sales prices, you might be able to get some credits at the new home center regarding changes to the building itself or to the residence. Maybe you want a different outlet package. Maybe the number of outlets the new house comes with aren't sufficient to support your electrical needs. So now you're going to want to expand on the amount of outlets you have so you can purchase that package. Maybe that's something that you can negotiate with them and have included at no extra cost to you because you're just such a wonderful person. If you don't ask, and I find out this happens with my clients as well, if I'm not there with them and they don't ask the question, they don't get. But sometimes when they ask, they wouldn't have gotten without it, but now that they did ask, they get it. There's that. So that's Santa Clarita Valley. That's what's happening here. Antelope Valley, very much similar, but we do see it takes longer to sell residential real estate in Antelope Valley than Santa Clarita Valley. Maybe twice as long, but that's not very much raw numbers. We get into escrow within 7 to 14 days on most real estate listings. And that lag is typically because of the amount of offers received and the agents trying to work through them, putting them together in the best format so they can share all those offers with the real estate seller, and then the real estate seller taking time to make decisions as well. So you have that lag. In a perfect world, that lag would be much more compressed, and it would probably be a day or two before we had a new listing in Santa Clarita onto the market. Antelope Valley, that would probably be 4 to 6 days again. But right now we're looking at our market 7 to 10, 7 to 12. Antelope Valley market somewhere between 7 to 14 or 12 to 24. It just depends on what the house is, where it's located, what it is, what condition it's in, and if it does afford many different types of financing. So is it not only going to allow for a conventional loan or cash, which of course every real estate deal would allow for cash, but besides that, will it also allow for other types of financing, maybe on the behalf of the Federal Housing Administration or maybe on behalf of the Veterans Administration for a VA loan? And the reason why that's something that you might want to pay attention to, be it as a real estate buyer or seller, understanding the different types of loans out there, could impact you in some way. If you're a real estate seller and your house goes onto the market, yet you have some issues with it, maybe you don't have carpet in one of the bedrooms, maybe you had that pulled out and you have an exposed slab. The Veterans Administration loan, when that appraiser comes and sees the exposed slab, most times that's a no go for them. They will not allow a loan to be made on that property. So you, as a seller, are going to be tasked with having that repaired if, in fact, you did choose a VA loan. The head scratcher on that whole thing is the fact that more than likely, all you got to do is get the floor covered with something, and the buyer's probably not going to appreciate it anyway. You would have been better off maybe contributing a little bit extra to the buyer so they could have the type of flooring they wanted. But again, this is a rule and regulation that's in place. So you, as a home seller, knowing that potentially you could be out of pocket maybe more money depending on the loan program that you accepted from the real estate buyer, does mean a lot. Same thing with real estate buyers out there looking for those fixer opportunities, because of course we've all heard that from people closest to us. Oh my God, let's go buy a fixer. It's going to be great. We're going to make a lot of money. Sometimes those different loan programs won't allow you to use that type of financing to buy a property that needs help, to buy a property that needs to be fixed. More than likely, that appraiser is going to go out, they're doing the work for you, for the entity that's loaning you the money, and they're going to go out there and they're going to then look at the residential real estate and they see all of these issues. They're going to come back and say, sorry, Jack, we're not going to approve this for appraisal or approve it to have a loan written on it because it needs all of this work, the upgrades, the changes. Maybe they weren't done to contractor grade. Maybe there's exposed wiring. Maybe there's health and safety issues. Maybe the power doesn't work. The gas is shut off. There's notices. There's tags, red, yellow, green, blue, whatever it is. That could be a problem. But as a home buyer, you've been told by everyone, oh, go out there and get the fixer, and you might be a little handy. Unfortunately, you might not be able to approach a fixer depending on the loan program that you're using. So knowing what types of loans are out there, those programs are good for any market buyers or sellers. In addition, if you have owned real estate or currently own real estate and you're considering maybe getting into the investment stream with regard to real estate, that's great. Just make sure that you don't jump in too quickly and look at where you're going to be able to borrow money to be able to become this investor. If you've been saving money, you have a separate account that's liquid in cash. Maybe that might not be the money to tap into. Maybe if you get a loan for the money that you're going to be using, that would be better, but you need to show some kind of wherewithal or capital. So you might be able to invest some of that money into the equity of your residence in case you need more to be able to borrow against that. Might put you in a better position. Watch those folks on TV, Ramsey and these other guys that talk about finances. They're really brilliant in that regard and they'll be able to guide you best. But when it comes to purchasing residential real estate, getting through all of the contracts and all of those things, you need a pit bull on your side. You need somebody that's going to stand there no matter what, going to answer your phone calls, going to be communicative, and understands how the real estate process works, has the knowledge and experience. I've been doing this since 1998. You need somebody like that on your side, whether you're buying or selling or investing or whatever it may be with regard to real estate. I'm Connor with Honor. This is our Thursday show. I do this every day. Well, not specifically this type of show, but lots of different real estate shows every day talking about different things in the market. Tomorrow is going to be our Friday's open house broadcast. Going to talk about open houses, how they work, and what you can expect to see in this market. Is it a super high level of open houses now, or we have a lower level? Tune in tomorrow and we'll explain that all together. I'm Connor with Honor. Thank you very much. You be well, and we'll talk to you soon. If you know anybody that needs me, needs my real estate services, I want to be there for them and for you. Check me out online, Connor with Honor, over and out.